was proven, of course, that there was no interference. Mike Pence irresponsible. There's a viral story going around, centering around a secular Israeli who was headed back to Israel from Hungary, and there were a lot of Haredi Bachrim, Haredi young men on the plane. He admittedly did not like Haredim very much until what happened on the plane, where they were giving out free food and free drinks to the people because they just come back from the cemetery of their Rebbe, who was known to give out free food to everybody. He was very taken aback. He said his views of Haredim, of ultra-Orthodox, have changed significantly. He no longer looks down upon them. I think this is true. People generalize when it comes to Haredim. If you don't like Haredim, you don't like all of them. Not all of them are equal. But I think what even really happened over here is there's a soft spot in people's heart for free food and free drink. And I think that's what really changed his mind. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken visited Saudi Arabia and met with Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. They discussed a lot of different things, strengthening the United States relations with Saudi Arabia in the wake of Saudi Arabia apparently pivoting to China, an alliance with Russia and even Iran, which is against U.S. interests. Obviously, Saudi Arabia would gain the most with an alliance with the United States. They did talk briefly about normalization with Israel. The United States felt that would help America's interests, that there be normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel. I think it's noteworthy that Anthony Blinken went and not Joe Biden. Joe Biden has no clue how to have dialogue with world leaders, let alone regular people. So I think this is a step in the right direction. In shocking news to most of the sporting world, except for Americans, Lionel Messi, arguably the best soccer player ever, will be headed to Miami. He's joining Major League Soccer at the age of 35. He's still somewhat in his prime. Accepted a much less offer from the Americans, from Miami Football Club, Soccer Club. He's going to get paid for 3 years around $125 million. He turned down from Saudi Arabia's, one of their premier teams, Al Hilal, $1.6 billion they're willing to pay him for a 3-year contract, much like they paid Ronaldo, a different team over there. I think this really highlights the difference between Messi and Ronaldo. Messi just wants to play on a bigger stage. Even the United States has a bigger stage than Saudi Arabia. Ronaldo is after the glitz and the glamour and the money. The Intel Corporation announced yesterday that they're sharing 35 million shares of Mobileye stock. Mobileye stock is an Israeli company originally, which is devoted towards autonomous driving. Intel bought the entire company. Since its IPO, the stock value of Mobileye has doubled. So they sold it for a nice profit. I think Intel is realizing that they're losing the battle with AMD and NVIDIA in the chip market. Intel is viewed, at least in the eyes of stock traders, as something outdated, obsolete. AMD and NVIDIA are much more volatile and they're gaining much more ground. On a purely financial basis, it makes sense to take some of the cash and sell the shares. There were rumors going around on Twitter that Taylor Swift, the famous singer, is in a relationship with Austin Reeves, a notable player on Los Angeles Lakers basketball team. A lot of people said this is misinformation and denied it, being that Austin Reeves has a different girlfriend, or at least had a different girlfriend. There were hundreds of thousands of followers who reposted this video on Twitter, or at least this declaration that they were going out. I mean, who cares about this? Who cares who Taylor Swift is dating? When these athletes and celebrities date each other, it lasts for how long? A couple months, a year, and then they break up. People have no better things to do with their time than just worry about who Taylor Swift is going out with. I mean, it's a relationship that will never last, and they're not you. They're just someone else. I think with the advent of social media, people are focusing more on themselves than the celebrities.